Alphapointe matter because they're people that are blind or low vision that, like me, I was a nurse. So when my sight got worse, I wasn't able to work out in the public. But Alphapointe offered the opportunity where I can still continue my education and continue to take care of myself.
They have a lot of good counselors here that teach you a lot of skills that will help things that you are having trouble with now, or you think it's the end of all the fun stuff you used to do, that they will teach you the skills that you can still be independent.
I see people coming in thinking they can't do anything, that they can't get down the hall on their own, that they get lost in their own homes, and when they leave here, they're crossing streets and entering businesses and getting on and off buses, and I just watch the confidence build up, and it's a wonderful thing.
I don't know if you're allowed to say any religious thing, but I'm a strong believer that God has made man to work, and that includes the blind.
It makes you not to be down on yourself, even though you got a disability, that you can continue going on and, productive in life is like if a person with normal, eyesight or hearing.
It's a super place to work, and people are great here. And I just love coming to work here every day.
Well, Alphapointe Association for the Blind is the largest employer of people who are blind in the state of Missouri, and the only provider of comprehensive rehabilitation services throughout the state. We serve about 800 people a year, every year, who come through our program. Alphapointe is celebrating its centennial this year. We were formed in 1911, founded by a lady by the name of Catherine Hale, whose brother was blind, and she wanted to create opportunities for him. In 1911, Ms. Hale was looking for what were the needs that people who are blind had in the community. And one of them, obviously, very quickly was employment, to be able to earn their own living and be able to provide for themselves and for their families. So they started out making brooms. And then in the 1960s, we started producing pens for the government. And then later on, through a partnership with 3M, we've more recently added tape, which we slit and sell to the government. And then injection molding, providing prescription bottles to the Department of Veterans Affairs, so that a veteran who needs their prescription, any veteran across the country that needs their prescription is going to receive that prescription in a bottle manufactured here by people who are blind at Alphapointe.
They're always surprised when I mention the beer that we're doing this for Boulevard Brewing Company. I had experienced a brain tumor and was successfully operated on, but I had always been self-employed, and things have changed. The medical condition and my health insurance was just out of sight.
Well, my goal is to be the best employee wherever they put me. I know people didn't think I could do much as a child. The school didn't think I'd be able to hold down a job when I became an adult. I didn't get out of there till I was 20, and when I first got my job, one of my teachers down there at the school says, "What? That kid can't work." So I still kind of laugh at that a little bit.
So it just kind of, keep you going, and you don't kind of too much look at your eyesight as something, bad. It could be, something good, because all of your other independents kind of pick up, like my ear sight, your smell and things of that nature. You kind of like take that over from my vision.
I think we got a ways to go, because we've never been able to get under the 70% unemployment rate. So that's exactly why I came down, because I knew had I stayed up in Iowa, I might not have worked again. And I was too young to retire at 50. I'm 62, and people ask me when I'm going to retire now. I still feel like I'm too young, so there you go.
Is it better without that, or is it better with this?
Retinitis pigmentosa. I'm slowly losing my central and peripheral vision. It's like it's like looking through a straw, and eventually over time it can. They're not really sure if it'll happen to everybody, but you totally lose all vision. Because I was always thinking about one day I might wake up and be blind, and how would I deal with that?
Alphapointe Low Vision Clinic is a place where they can come and get back in the mainstream of life. We'll take what they have to use and help them to use it best. We can't make poor retinas good again, but we can take poor skills and make them better. And we can show people how they can do things, maybe in a different way, but still get the job done that they couldn't do before. We like to think that, we're helping people get over the bar in life. I mean, sometimes circumstances have set that bar pretty high. We can't pull them over the bar, but we'll show them how to get over it.
Basically, I try and be proactive, so when I do wake up that day, that I'm prepared and not scared to death, because that's a lot of emotional stress.
Alphapointe provides services for people of all ages with vision loss, from birth to seniors. Alphapointe services are designed to lead folks to independence. We provide them with tools, with equipment, and with skills to function in a sighted world and live independently. Throughout our history, we've dedicated a lot of resources to the working age population. In recent years, we've really grown our services to seniors, and more recently, this last summer, we initiated 2 camps for young people. Alphapointe Adventure Camp was designed to challenge young kids who are blind. They got to fish, they got to swim, they got to canoe and climb rock walls and do things that most of these students had not done before. And they were really challenged outside of their comfort zone and loved it, had a good time, and made friends that we hope will last a lifetime.
In 2000, we began a capital campaign, and we secured funding from the community, and a lot of the names that are on this wall are important for us. And they helped us buy this property and construct this building.
The old building, it was so cramped, and things I remember being blind, working with being in transportation, when you rode the cabs, they dropped you right off on 20th Street, which is a very busy street going to the highway. This building out here at 75th and Prospect, the area is a lot better to get to. It's more centrally located. It's safe to get out and in vehicles. It's one level, plenty of spaciousness, and more friendly to blind people with the different textures on the floor.
The building was specifically designed to provide orientation and mobility instruction. We actually used the space as a training vehicle for people who are learning how to maneuver in a space. So you'll notice as we walk through the building that you'll see different floor surfaces. You'll also see dark and light contrast on the walls and on the floor, and that provides options for people who have either no visual acuity whatsoever and are using a cane to maneuver, or if they have some visual acuity, they'll notice that a dark wall is to their right versus a light wall to their left.
A lot of people, including myself, I was losing confidence thinking that nobody would hire me. How am I going to get another job? And coming here and knowing that there's a lot of technology out there and they will teach you all these things and skills that I can go out there and get a job, as long as somebody gives me the chance.
Thousands of educational and employment opportunities that weren't available at one time are now available. It's absolutely phenomenal to have access to email, any information on the internet, and even portable devices, certain types of consumer electronics like cell phones that speak what's on their screens, or in some cases magnify as well.
This has been a godsend for me. I was diagnosed about 20 years ago and was in denial. It is a degenerative disease, so it did get worse, just like they said. A lot of things I have not been able to do. When I found Alphapointe, they're helping me mobilization-wise. They're helping me hopefully be able to use a computer with just voice. And the ADL, activities of daily living, OT, is helping me with my things that I do at home, putting little buttons on highs and lows of my stove and all kinds of wonderful things that just makes me more independent.
So the real question is, why does this all matter? 70% of people who are blind are unemployed across our country. It's a great group of people who want to work. They have the capability to do anything that is put in front of them if they're just given the chance. And places like Alphapointe provide for those opportunities to build on those skills and then to be able to go into the community and make a meaningful contribution to society.